I just wanted to say thank you to Tammy, thank you to all the organizers putting this together today. We really appreciate taking this initiative against the Monsanto Protection Act. Thank you to all of the organizations involved, Artists for Local Agriculture, for having music for us today. Thank you to Dale's Delectation of Tomatoes. If anyone hasn't seen yet, there's free tomato seedlings. I think there's about a little shy of 400, so try to just take one so we can have as many to go around as possible. They are free. Please take them. If you don't have a garden started yet, this is a great way to get involved.
Es que me da miedo, mami. Quiero estar con ustedes. Pero ¿y si alguien les dice, oh, vengan conmigo y ustedes van?
I would like to talk for a moment about gardening and the importance of it. Gardening is culture. Gardening is community. Gardening is what connects us to our ecosystems, to the land, and to each other. Gardening is intrinsically part of each and every one of our lives. For too long, we have allowed the conveniences offered by the so-called Green Revolution to push agricultural production into the greedy hands of a few. Throughout most of human history, the majority of people have been involved in the art of food production. However, currently in the United States, we find that less than 2% of the population is involved in growing food for the rest. This unbalanced system remains dominated by a small handful of big agricultural companies. These companies market themselves towards developing solutions to world hunger. However, the current food industrial complex does not only perpetuate starvation and suffering, but creates poverty on an international scale. Big agriculture threatens small family homesteads and indigenous farm workers worldwide through economies of scale and unfair business practices. Big agriculture does not seek to solve world hunger. It only seeks to dominate and monopolize the food sector. We cannot continue to allow profit-driven agendas of the food industrial complex to play out on our kitchen tables. GMO foods and pesticides produced by corporations such as Monsanto, Bayer, and DuPont threaten not only the nature of our complex ecosystem, but also the very health and well-being of our family and loved ones. GMOs and pesticides produced by these companies have been proven to be responsible for a variety of allergies, reproductive dysfunctions, learning disabilities, birth defects, obesity, diabetes, autism, cancers, and many, many more food-related illnesses. Furthermore, the industrial scale production of these foods drastically increases our demand on oil and water resources and puts an unfair stress on the environment in which we live. If we are to create a place where we can achieve a sustainable future for our children, then we must begin by reclaiming our culture of food. We must reach back to the art of saving seed and remember humankind's unique role in our ecosystem. We must begin again to recognize the important relationship that we share with the food that sustains us. Salt Lake City and other communities along the Wasatch Front have seen many periods of food sovereignty. Local indigenous communities such as the Ute and the Navajo enjoyed a long history and high quality of life in relative harmony with this mountain valley. Later, early Mormon settlers, with the threat of war declared upon them, established local food resources that would allow them to survive without outside support. We do have the space and soils and water available in this valley to produce fresh, healthy, and accessible food for our community. We must be looking to these historical examples as inspiration to pull ourselves away from dependency on multinational corporations. So, how do we remove ourselves from this poisonous system? What do we do? There is an ongoing petition to repeal the recently passed Monsanto Protection Act, and we can begin by voicing our opinion against these unjust laws and educating those around us who are beginning to understand, but we cannot end there. Monsanto did not begin, nor will it end with this Protection Act. We cannot trust those who wrote these laws to follow through with its repeal, or for them to answer our demands with solutions. We must create those solutions and uphold those solutions ourselves. We must organize our communities to push back big agriculture and work towards, once again, having food sovereignty in our communities. We must push with our dollar by boycotting GMO foods and refusing to buy into this dependence on these poisonous products. We must push with our dollar by boycotting GMO foods and refusing to buy into dependence on these poisonous products. We must push by investing in local community-supported agriculture, such as bug farms, Bell Organics, Dale's delectation of tomatoes, instead of investing in grocery stores that stock GMO foods. We must push with our time by volunteering with local community garden projects, such as Real Food Rising, Artists for Local Agriculture, and Wasatch Community Gardens. We must push by taking initiative to organize our own neighborhood gardening initiatives. We must push with our labor, uprooting wasteful turf grass in our homes, redesigning our living space, and growing food instead of wasteful lawns. We must continue by reclaiming our culture of saving seed and recognizing our connection to the living ecosystem around us. We must finish with a paradigm shift and realize that symbiotic relationship that we have with the food we grow and the world within which we live. Growing food is about more than gardening. It is about creating healthy communities that are capable of resisting corporate control. And if anybody here is curious about how to get involved in those communities, these little flyers that say resistance is fertile, grower revolution, they have on the back listed the organizing groups of this march, as well as many other local organic gardening resources. So there are very simple ways and real ways that we can achieve these. This march is impressive, this march is beautiful, but we have to take this energy and continue it. We have to get involved, we have to start growing our own food, and that takes a lot of work, so please, please, please find these flyers. They're available at the table. Take a tomato, take it home, start your own garden, give it to a friend, whatever you can do to get involved standing up against GMO food. There are very real ways that we can do that today. The aim of this growing movement is to inspire you to envision, demand, and create healthy urban ecosystems that provide abundant food to all of the residents within them. Gardens without borders. Food sovereignty is a key ingredient towards true justice. Growing food is about more than gardening. It is about empowering ourselves to take control of our lives, to provide real and accessible solutions for the problems that we face. It is about growing respect for one another, for ourselves, for our children's future, and for our world. It's not a dream, it's a plan. Resistance is fertile, so let's grow a revolution.
I have a few people to thank. First of all, the main organizer of this event, Tammy Monroe Canal. I don't know where she is. She's around here somewhere. Look at all these people that showed up today. There were a ton of people who helped us out. I don't know their names off my head.